All right, so where's the mustache at now, huh? Well, good morning, what's left of it to you, and welcome again to the end of the convention. I'm glad to see that there's still a few of you out there. As many of you know, when I took over as the president of the CDC in 2007, with the help of my fellow officers, we developed a slew of services and products to help the CDC support the clubs across the state. As a result of that, we grew CDC from the 40 clubs at the time as members to over 200 clubs and central committees now. That's absolutely. But even more amazing, we went from 4,000 members during that time to now to 20,000 members that are part of CDC again. Now, however, while we've been able to fill and repurpose the CDC to fulfill the needs for the clubs today, unfortunately, our structure has lagged behind in the times, and it kind of hinders the way we've been able to service our members. So as a result, we've been working very hard over the last few months to develop a restructuring plan that will better represent our goals and in addition, usher in a new era of cooperation between the CDC and the State Democratic Party. If you're interested in helping us out with the details, please get in contact with us. We'd love to have you on board to finish up this restructuring plan. In addition to that, our next training is going to be in the Sierra Mountains area, and we have another one scheduled for the Southern California area. If you would like to have some training in your area, please contact us. We love going across the state and visiting and giving you the tools that you need to get the job done. Now, I've had the honor of leading CDC for the last 6 years. And although I thoroughly enjoyed the privilege of being the president of the CDC, it's time for me to step down and take on my duties as the new chair of the Orange County Democratic Party. But, my fellow Democrats, and you know I've always got a but when I come on here, I've got to leave you with this message. While we've heard a lot of inspiring speeches about our victories in 2012 and the ability to gain the first supermajority since, 1882 in both houses, our job as grassroots activists is far from over. It's not enough to have the majority. If our own Democratic leaders won't stand up for our farm workers to ensure that they get the same basic privileges of water and access to shade that even animals get. It's not enough to have the majority if our own Democratic leaders won't stand up for domestic workers to ensure they get the same labor rights that every other worker gets. It's not enough to have the majority if our own Democratic leaders won't stand up to eliminate corporate loopholes instead of cutting health care and vital services for children and our most vulnerable communities. It's not enough to have the majority if our own Democratic leaders won't stand up to oil companies and charge an oil severance tax like every other oil-producing state. You know, Paul Wellstone said it best. If we don't fight hard enough for the things we stand for, at some point, we have to recognize that we don't really stand for them. And I promise you, while you may not see me here on the stage after this year, be rest assured I will be fighting hard in my own county to make sure that my own Democratic leaders will do more than just say that they stand up for our values. And I challenge you to do the same thing in your own counties. Don't forget that it is you, the grassroots activists that have the power to make these things happen. You need to stand up to our own Democratic leaders and hold them accountable just as much, if not more, than we do with the Republicans. It is you who need to stand up for the poor and the vulnerable when they have no one to defend them. It is you who need to stand up for our democratic values when they're not being represented. My fellow Democrats, I need you to stand up and prove to the voters that we deserve the right to keep the supermajority that they have given us. Thank you very much, and go forth and do the job we need to be doing.